Hey guys, it's your boy CeeLo, not Green, and today I wanted to go over a few topics, like some hints implying that the Junker Queen leak from about a month ago might actually have some weight behind it, as well as almost 100% nailing down exactly when the next phases of betas will be launched, so stick around to get all the details. Grab your date books, because we're going to be looking at a bunch of calendars today. Get ready. Okay, to start, let's get this Junker Queen thing out of the way because it's super quick, and I still don't think it's a real leak, so I just wanted to put this in here just in case, since I think there is some decent evidence for it. About a month ago, a French streamer said that someone in his chat had leaked the entire kit of Junker Queen. If you want to see all of the details in depth, I'll link the original Reddit post that had all of the kit in the description, but the gist of it was that she has a very unique kit that had a lot to do with bleeding effects. From the general description we got of the kit, many people assumed she'd be a tank, which I hope would be the case. Anyway, many people, including myself, wrote this leak off as the kit is extremely bloated, even more than Sigma's is, and she seems like she can do so much. This kinda goes in line with what most of the tanks in Overwatch 2 have been reworked into, so seeing her kit and it being a bit much makes sense in an Overwatch 2 world. An eagle-eyed Redditor posted on the competitive Overwatch Reddit noticing some odd similarities between the leaked kit and the current beta UI. When you hit F1 in the beta to see your hero description, this screen pops up, showing your weapon, ultimate, and all the abilities along with a small description. When looking back at the Junker Queen leak, the UI elements in the pictures share a striking resemblance to the way the F1 UI looks in the beta. The gun is designed exactly the same, the ability icons for her are in a square like it is in the beta, and the ult icon looks almost exactly the same style of the ult icon that's in the beta UI as well. This has led to some people fully jumping on board and believing this to be a legit leak a month after seeing it. For me, I still don't know. This would literally have to be leaked by an Overwatch developer for this kit and the icons to be released into the wild, and I don't think there's ever been as big a leak as this one would be. I think it's just a coincidence and there isn't any weight behind this leak still, icons looking the same or not. I also think adding a tank in the next round of beta would be an absolute disaster when it comes to player reception. Right now the beta queue times are an absolute joke. Tank and DPS take well over 5 minutes for one game, while supports take literally 10 seconds to get into a game. Adding another tank this soon after getting mostly every tank reworked, as well as moving Doomfist into the role, would be such an insult to all of the players looking for a reason to play support in the beta right now. Having 7 supports shared by 2 people is awful compared to the 9 tanks and 17 DPS. I think moving into the next beta phase, they need to either rework some of the supports or add a new one. Also, side note, I think a great way to help queue times in the beta is instead of having a role queue screen, when you hit play, you get into a game and then it randomly selects a role for you, so you don't have to wait long for a game, and if you don't get the role you want this game, the queue times would be fast enough after a game, you just get another shot at it. Do this for the beta at least, and definitely not competitive, just to help the queue times out in general. Anyway, onto the major topic of this video, the timeline of the beta phases that will come out over the span of the next few months. I feel like this beta has had a very mixed response. You have diehards like me who are loving having something new to play that genuinely feels like a different game to the live Overwatch. And then you have the outsiders / casual players who immediately take a steaming hot Duke on the beta because it's only one new hero and 4 maps. I could go into a full rant about this, but I won't, and I'll internalize it and, I don't know, like meditate on it and find Nirvana or something. Oh, hi Kurt. Alright, we need to keep a few things in mind before we start. The anniversary remix events are still a thing that we need to remember and need to come out and have their time, even if no one is really a giant fan of them. These are just regular events, so they're the same length of time as any other. 3 weeks. The first volume replaced the Archives event, this next upcoming one will be replacing the regular anniversary event, and then the third one will replace the Summer Games event. The most important thing to remember is that with the Summer Games event no longer happening this year, that time frame when it normally comes out in late July or August will no longer be a thing. So keep that in mind as we go forward. Another thing to keep track of is the Overwatch League and their timing. The new head of the Overwatch League, Sean Miller, said back in a league update that the Overwatch team and the Overwatch League are working in quote lockstep when it comes to adding more content to the betas. They said that they aren't going to add new content right before or in the middle of an Overwatch League tournament, and that they are planning content to occur in the downtimes between the Overwatch League tournaments.
We want to make sure that we are lockstep with the Overwatch development team in getting these updates with the OWL season structure the best we can. So specifically, we want to make sure that major content drops happen between tournaments, because we don't want to do too much goalpost moving on the teams and the players and drop too much right in the middle of say, the mid-season madness seeding weeks. We want to make sure that they have sufficient time and that the tournaments themselves are fluid and structured enough to have that level of competition that's fair.
Okay, with that, let's whip out our calendars and let's get writing. Okay, so let's start back in the magical time of April 2022. The Anniversary Remix event began way back on April 5th, and it ran for the normal 3 weeks until April 26th. April 26th, as we all know, was the launch of the first beta, which we're playing right now. The Overwatch team have announced that in May, the beta will come to a close on the 17th, which is exactly 3 weeks from its start. I also want to note that the Overwatch League begins on Thursday, May 5th, so I'll put a marker here to notify that. With the beta coming to a close on the 17th, as well as the actual Overwatch anniversary date of May 24th being a week after the 17th, I think it's safe to assume that the Volume 2 of the Anniversary Remix event will begin the same day that the first Overwatch 2 beta comes to a close on the 17th. This leads perfectly into the real anniversary. 3 weeks from the start of the Remix Volume 2 event will be June 7th. One thing to note about this time period is that the first Overwatch League tournament comes to an end on June 6th, 1 day before the end of this event. The league is taking about a week off after that, coming back to play on June 16th. If we are to believe what Sean Miller said about content being added in between Overwatch League tournaments, then this is the perfect time for the second beta phase to begin right as the Remix event ends on June 6th. With this beta, any new maps or heroes they plan on adding would be perfect for insertion, so the pros can have about a week to practice the new hero and maps on their week off, so they can be ready to play them for the next tournament. I think this June 6th date is absolutely when the next beta phase will hit. Hopefully we'll get a new support hero and at least 2 maps, as well as some of the older Overwatch 1 maps being added into the next beta phase, so we have even more maps to play on, as this beta phase is starting to get a little stale on the map side of things. Let's go even further. If we keep going with this consistent 3-week system, then it can be assumed that after the second beta comes to an end after 3 weeks, this would put us at June 28th. If the pattern holds up, the Remix Volume 3 event will begin right after the second beta ends on June 28th. This is where I wanted to bring up the Summer Games being gone. If this event is replacing Summer Games, it could hit almost 2 months sooner than it normally does, meaning we get the quickest 3 events in Overwatch history. But once again, it's important to note that this is an Anniversary Remix event, which is completely different to Summer Games. I think these Anniversary events are just one last hurrah for Overwatch 1 before it disappears like my dad going out for milk. Let's keep it rolling into July. 3 weeks after June 28th puts the end of the Volume 3 event at July 19th. One thing to note about this week in July is that the whole week in the Overwatch League, the Mid-Season Madness tournament is taking place from Monday, July 18th, all the way to Saturday, July 23rd. After this tournament, the Overwatch League is taking a big 2-week break from play until August 11th. Now, going back to our pattern of 3 weeks, with the Remix event ending on July 19th, a perfect time to add something into the beta would be here, starting the third beta on the 19th. While the Overwatch League has its mid-season break, the Overwatch team has the perfect opportunity to add some major things into this beta phase. I could see this being the biggest content drop for any of the betas. We could see 2 or 3 new heroes and maybe even the new mysterious game mode that no one knows anything about yet. This could also be the time that the beta goes full open with console players getting access. I think in July, when people are on vacation and have time to kill, a huge drop of content will hit us like it never has before. I think this is the perfect time for Blizzard to pull out all the stops to make this Overwatch 2 open beta be a huge event to bring many people back. Maybe even throw a little PvE thing in there while you're at it, but I know that's a pipe dream. Okay, you got all that? Good, because it'll be on the test. I hope this is a pretty accurate timeline, and if it is, the next 3 months will possibly be the biggest amount of Overwatch content ever in such a short amount of time. It could be 3 to 4 new heroes, new maps, and a new game mode all in the span of April 26th to July 19th. That's a lot of new things. Hopefully by then, all of the people who hate on Overwatch for absolutely no reason will actually acknowledge that something has actually changed from the game. I also want to say this, Overwatch 2 is Overwatch. I don't know what the average gamer who hates on Overwatch wants Overwatch 2 to be. What, do you want it to become a literal actual MOBA? A card game? An open world RPG? Bro, it's Overwatch. Overwatch 2 is going to be Overwatch. Yeah, this first beta is a little light on content after 2 years of nothing, but it's exactly that. The first beta. I hope that I'm right with these predictions, because by the end of the summer, it could be a reality that you could pick a whole team comp with nothing but new heroes that never existed in Overwatch 1 in March. Bro, that's crazy to think about. Anyway, I think that wraps this video up. Just wanted to do some fun speculation to keep the hype train rolling, so I hope this video got you as psyched about what's to come in Overwatch as it did for me. I cannot wait to go through this all with you guys along the way. So with that, please like the video if you enjoyed or learned something new. Please subscribe and ring the bell icon to see more from me and to get notified when I upload next. And comment below and if you think my little timeline looks as convincing as it did to me as I made this video. I'm breathing the copium yet again, boys. I cannot get enough. Okay, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.